Galileo Galilei and Nicolaus Copernicus. Two visionaries who shifted the axis of human understanding. The progress of civilization is marked not only by empires rising and falling, but by the bold thinkers who dared to question the very structure of the universe. Among those who reshaped humanity's perception of reality, two names stand out as monumental pillars: Nicolaus Copernicus and Galileo Galilei. 1. The quiet canon and polymath who challenged a 1,400-year-old geocentric model with a single revolutionary book. The other, the outspoken Italian who armed the heavens with his telescope and transformed that theory into undeniable evidence. Though separated by nearly a century, both shared not only intellectual courage but the willingness to defy entrenched authority in pursuit of truth. This detailed comparison examines their scientific methods, their challenges, their philosophical visions, and the enduring cultural impact each man left, maintaining the flowing narrative style without the interruption of tables. Nicolaus Copernicus. The quiet revolutionary, the vision of a moving earth. Nicolaus Copernicus, 1473–1543, a Polish mathematician, astronomer, physician, economist, and church canon, was a man whose brilliance manifested in many domains, but whose greatest achievement was a theory published in a hesitant, almost reluctant manner. In 1543, the year of his death, Copernicus released De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, on the revolutions of the heavenly spheres, a work that dared to propose that the Earth was not the center of the universe but one planet orbiting the Sun. This was more than a scientific hypothesis, it was a metaphysical earthquake. For over a millennium, the Ptolemaic geocentric model, embraced by both scholars and religious authorities, had placed the Earth at the sacred center of God's creation. Copernicus, with calm precision, dismantled this worldview through mathematics, geometry, and a profound confidence in the simplicity of natural law. His heliocentric vision was driven by elegance and logic. The complexity of epicycles, deference, and equants in the Ptolemaic model offended his sense of cosmic harmony. The sun-centered system, in contrast, brought order. Retrograde motions were natural consequences of Earth's motion, orbital periods aligned cleanly, and celestial mechanics took on a rational shape. Yet Copernicus was not a fiery revolutionary. He avoided confrontation, dedicated his life to study and administrative duties, and delayed publication for decades out of fear not only of the church but of scholarly ridicule. His work emerged into the world almost as a whisper, but that whisper echoed across centuries. He redefined the place of humanity in the cosmos, not by force, but by reason. Copernicus's legacy is philosophical as much as scientific. He initiated the Copernican revolution, a turning point that forced humanity to accept that Earth is not the center of all things but part of a much larger, dynamic system. His model triggered an intellectual chain reaction that reached astronomy, physics, theology, and eventually, every field of thought that seeks objective truth. In essence, Copernicus overturned the cosmic map and opened the door to modern science. Galileo Galilei. The defiant experimenter, the strategy of evidence. If Copernicus was the architect of a new cosmic theory, Galileo Galilei, 1564–1642, was its warrior. Born 21 years after the quiet revolutionary's death, Galileo became the loud, defiant, and relentlessly empirical champion of heliocentrism, the man who provided the observational proof Copernicus never had. Galileo's genius lay not in contemplation alone, but in experimentation. A physicist, mathematician, philosopher, and astronomer, he used instruments, tests, and measurement to bring science out of abstraction and into the realm of demonstrable reality. When he heard of a Dutch invention called the spyglass, he rebuilt it from scratch, improving its magnification until he could aim it at the heavens, and what he saw shook the foundations of cosmology. The mountains of the moon, the moons of Jupiter, the phases of Venus, and the countless stars of the Milky Way all revealed a universe far more complex than Aristotle had imagined. This observational arsenal struck at the heart of geocentrism. The phases of Venus, especially, demonstrated that it orbited the Sun, a direct confirmation of Copernican theory. Unlike Copernicus, Galileo did not shy away from conflict. He was a brilliant communicator, writing in Italian rather than Latin to reach a wider audience. He mocked his opponents, challenged tradition, and fearlessly argued that Scripture should not be interpreted against proven natural facts. His dialogue concerning the two chief world systems, 1632, presented heliocentrism with such rhetorical force that it earned him both eternal fame and a trial before the Roman Inquisition. Forced to recant under threat, sentenced to lifelong house arrest, and forbidden from teaching heliocentrism, Galileo became a martyr of scientific freedom. Yet his ideas, methods, and discoveries outlived the condemnation. His approach, experimentation, measurement, and direct observation, became the foundation of the modern scientific method. Galileo did not merely support the Copernican worldview, he transformed science itself into an evidence-based discipline. The intellectual bond and the divergence of destiny. Although they lived almost a century apart, Copernicus and Galileo were united by a shared intellectual bravery and an unyielding commitment to discovering celestial truth. Both challenged the dominant worldview of their time, both understood that nature obeys mathematical laws, both believed that human reason could penetrate the mysteries of the universe. Yet their paths diverged in temperament, approach, and fate. Copernicus was reserved, contemplative, and cautious. He planted the seed of heliocentrism quietly, almost anonymously, as though aware of the storm it could bring. His revolution was conceptual, mathematical, and elegant, a restructuring of the cosmic blueprint. Galileo was bold, confrontational, and dramatically public. Where Copernicus whispered, Galileo shouted. He brought the heliocentric model down from the abstract heavens and thrust it into concrete reality with the force of observation. His revolution was not merely astronomical, it was methodological and cultural. He transformed astronomy into an empirical science and challenged the authority of institutions that sought to control knowledge. Copernicus died peacefully, his ideas still fragile and contested. Galileo died condemned, but his ideas unstoppable. Copernicus mapped a new cosmos, Galileo opened humanity's eyes to see it. Both proved that a single thinker, armed with nothing but intellect and the courage to challenge the unquestionable, can shift the very axis of human understanding. They are, in their own way, the two astronomers who continue to reign over the heavens not by ruling planets, but by revealing their true motion. If you enjoyed this comparison, don't forget to support the channel. Likes, comments, and subscribing fuel the continuation of content like this. Which thinkers, scientists, or historical figures should we compare in the next video?